You lot, raise your glasses. This one's for Paul, Phil, and the Paranormal Soul Brother! Paul's got a torch and a tradies belt. Swears that he felt a cold hand on his bum. Phil's in the kitchen with a GoPro helmet, shouting, "Come at me, spirit, you cowardly scum!" Soul Brothers burning the bargain bin sage, reading vibes like a busted old gauge. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, three brave idiots and a busted van. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, chasing bad vibes round the caravan. If your house feels weird and your dog won't stay, they'll rock up drunk and scare it away. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, best worst hunters in the whole damn land. Oh, yeah.
All right, tonight we got a great guest. We got Amanda S. Coots, and she's a River Paranormal investigator. So I'm going to ask her some questions about some of her investigations, because I think she lives off in Kansas. She's involved with the Central Kansas Paracon. And I see that she has one of our friends on there, Tim Shorts, and he's doing a Paracon in Kentucky. So, Amanda, how did you get involved with paranormal?
I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I saw my very first apparition. So it just kind of popped off from there. I just was scared and interested at the same time. So I thought, I want to know more about this.
And how old were you?
About 7 or 8 years old.
7 to 8 years old. And where was this that you saw the apparition at?
It was in my mom's living room. I always tell people, do you guys remember those coffee tables that had the cushions on both sides? Do you remember those?
Yes, I do.
Yep. Well, I had to go to the bathroom, and you had to go from my bedroom to the living room, through the dining room to the bathroom. So I pretty much had to run to the bathroom, and I opened the door, and there was this white glowing thing over one of those cushions. And I don't even know. I remember screaming for my mom. I remember that because I slammed the door and screamed for her. And yeah, right after that, I do not remember anything after that.
Well, and did you guys ever figure out who the apparition was?
My mom said there was actually a female ghost that was in our house. Yeah.
A female ghost? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like someone died in that house?
I don't know if they died or not. I never looked into it because I was just a little girl. So, I think she did, but I have no idea what the information was.
Okay. So, Amanda, do you get all these Paracons started? Are you the one who does all this stuff?
Yeah, this is actually my second one. I put one on last April in 2025. And I used to work at the Wolf Hotel here in Ellenwood, Kansas. And it's a very historical hotel. I think it's 150 years old, something like that. And it used to have tunnels underneath, back in the cowboy days, back in the 1800s. Oh, yeah. And so I wanted to raise some money, to preserve the tunnels. So I thought, why don't I put on a Paracon and see what happens? So I had 6 speakers and I had 6 vendors, and so many people talked about that day, and that was only for one day. And everybody was excited, and they said, when are you going to do the next one? When are you going to do the next one? So I thought, why not? Let's try it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Amanda, what's one of your weirdest attendees?
Who's my weirdest attendee?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm so sorry. I love her to death, but I'm probably going to say Stephanie O'Reilly.
Why is that?
She's just a crazy lady. I love her. But she's just, she'll go and
Uh-oh.
do one. She'll go over and do one thing, and then she's kind of like squirrel, and then she goes and does another thing. But she's amazing. She's an amazing lady.
That's the
So,
Paracon.
yep,
What?
yep.
Any bizarre vendor items, like things that you thought were weird from the vendors you were surprised by?
Not on my first one. I didn't really have any bizarre things.
Okay.
It was just books and beaded bookmarks, which my mom
Okay.
actually made. And then I had a guy who did 3D items, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay, so I do have actually a weird vendor. He's coming back this year. He makes tombstones for like Halloween decorations, and they're actually
Wow.
tombstones. Yeah,
Real
yeah.
bona fide tombstones. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. They're
Wow.
heavy. They're heavy. So
Amanda,
yeah, yeah.
um, what are some of the notable speakers that you've had on your Paracons?
I actually invited Dustin Perry, my first one from Ghost Hunters,
Okay.
and he came all the way to Rhode Island to do it.
Wow.
And he was a very amazing person. They asked me if he was going to come back this year. I said no, he is so busy.
Yeah.
I
We've
I don't think I
we've
don't think I
we,
can.
we've actually had two of the Ghost Hunter guys on this show.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
can't.
Steve and Adam or
Um,
Jason.
I don't. Phil, do you remember who they were? I don't even watch Ghost Hunters. It's terrible. Um, so I really don't know them that well. I've worked with Ghost Adventures,
Oh
but
yes. Mhm.
yeah, I've worked with Zach and all that. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, but I haven't done anything with Ghost Hunters except interview the guys on this show. So yeah,
Yeah. And people have asked me if I was going to invite Zach, and I was like, no. I said I think he's too big of a Hollywood. I was like,
Yeah.
I think
you
he'd
know,
be very expensive.
Amanda, I got somebody for your show.
Who's that?
His name's Steve Ward.
Steve Ward.
Yeah, he knows everything about Mothman, and he works at the
Huh.
Mothman Museum.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's very, very
I
cool.
I live
Very
in Point
pro, very
Pleasant,
knowledgeable.
and I actually live on the very same road that the Scarberries and the Mallets were chased by the Mothman on November 15th, 1966.
Wow.
Now, I haven't
Wow.
seen anything other than traffic on that road,
He's the man.
but maybe
He's
one day.
he's the man. He's the man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Amanda, if you ever want something about Mothman, and a lot of people are interested in that, Steve Ward is the man to go to.
That is awesome.
Yep, yep.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
Yeah, we've been talking about different creatures and stuff on another podcast I did, and they were talking about, do you believe in like all the cryptozoology and stuff like that? And I said, oh
Yeah.
yeah. I said, oh yeah. I said I totally believe in Bigfoot and stuff like that. I even told my daughter. She said, you believe in Bigfoot? I said, absolutely. I said, so does your dad? And she said, he's not real. And I said, you believe in mermaids? And I said, same thing, same thing.
Right. Got her on that one.
Hmm.
Oh my
What's the
God.
most terrifying thing you've seen, like in your paranormal life?
I've definitely seen some crawlers before, which are not
Oh,
pleasant.
oh,
Just yeah, I've seen
huh.
them. I see little kind of they're shadow looking thing, and they just come at you. Yeah, mm-mm.
Wow.
I kind of back up. Did I really see that? Did I?
I pull the veil back down. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And I've
Amanda,
seen one. Oh, so go ahead.
oh no, 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 go ahead, please.
I've seen one. It went from the floor and it crawled up to the wall and went up to the ceiling. Yeah,
Wow.
it was insane. Yeah.
And
I
Amanda,
thought, no.
do you document your investigations?
Yes, I do. I do recordings. I do video. I'm always trying to do audio because that is the best for me to get something, And there's some days I get absolutely nothing, at all.
Right.
But and once in a while,
Let me clarify
um,
that. When I say document your investigations, do you document it for the public? For the
yes,
public
I
consumption?
show, yeah, I show my videos and stuff. Stuff
Oh,
that
okay.
we get, like equipment going off, and yeah,
Okay.
I do.
You don't write articles or anything like that.
No, no.
No.
I
No.
probably could. I could probably write a book by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure.
So my
You could do a
we just
sitcom.
got say what, a sitcom,
You could do a sitcom on the Paracon with all the characters and everything.
right? Probably could. So we were just at Missouri State Penitentiary. We just got done investigating there, and I had my earbuds in, and I was listening on the Ghost Box, and my boyfriend was there, and I guess he hit his head on the metal stairs.
Wow.
And I did not know he did that. And I heard a voice through my earbuds saying, "Duck your head," like right after it happened.
Oh my
So I
God.
said, yeah. So I said,
Amanda,
"Duck your head." Yeah, I said, "Duck your head." And an investigator tapped me on the shoulder, and I said, "What?" I took my earbud out, and he said, "Andy just hit his head on the stairs." I said, "What?" Yeah, it was crazy.
I got to tell you, sir, you just brought back a memory. Okay, I did an investigation at an abandoned high school in Texas. It was near Big Spring, Texas, and I had a whole crowd of people that came with me on this investigation. And I get an EVP. I said, okay, well, let's do an EVP session at this spot here. And the EVP was a man's voice, and it said, "Watch your step." And I said, "Holy cow!
Wow.
This place is
So
really
watch your
haunted."
step, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And as I was walking, there was a huge rattlesnake. I mean, I swear to God, it was this big.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not scared of ghosts, but I am damn scared of rattlesnakes. I
Yeah, yeah.
I ran like a
I heard that.
little girl.
Hear that rattler? Hey, but Paul always does really. I can attest to this. Every investigation I've ever been on him, he's like a EVP magnet. Good ones. You can classify. A lot of times, it's not really necessary around Paul because you'll get something that you can hear. It's like it's weird, and it'll be relatable to what you're asking. So he's like a magnet for that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm just a lucky guy, Zandy.
So, what do you think? I want to ask you, what do you think is real or fake? Do you think EVP recordings are fake or real?
I think they're real. I mean, I've heard so many voices come through that I can't even explain, because I know that there are people, not a lot of people. I've had only just one other person in the room with me, and another voice is overlapping what we're talking about. It'll
Okay.
just overlap. Yeah.
Do you think UFO abductions are real or fake?
I believe that there is probably something out there. I do believe in aliens,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know about abductions. I'm still kind of on the fence with that one. But
Wow. Okay.
I definitely believe in aliens. Absolutely.
What about possessed objects?
Yes. Yes, I do believe in objects, something being attached to something. Yeah, absolutely. I will have to tell you. So I work at the hospital now here in town, and hospital's 3 years old. It's not even that old yet. But they brought a whole bunch of old equipment to the new hospital from the old one.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
I call it the dish room, where we clean our dishes and stuff. But I was over on standing by the counter, which is far away from the dish room, and I was kind of tilted. I saw old feet, look like maybe man feet, and a torso in a hospital gown walk really slow into the dish room. And I thought a patient had escaped. I did.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this? So I go and to the other doorway and look in, and there's no one there. And I cannot. I wish I was recording, but that happened so quick. I told
Apparition,
them.
huh?
Yeah. I'm pretty
Paul,
sure
talk
that's
to
what that
Paul.
was.
Paul, you should take over from here, Paul, about the apparition. That's your thing, man. She's seen an apparition. You have. That's rare.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very rare.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
I've only seen 4 full body apparitions, and I've been on 2,500 investigations.
Goodness.
Only 4 full body apparitions, so it's very, very rare.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that was male. Pretty sure. It looked like male feet. But I have no idea why he was going in there. No clue. Yeah, I can't describe it.
Scary.
Yeah. And then it freaked me out a little bit. I'm still kind of I'm still like, what was that? Yeah, I'm still doing that. And then probably about a month ago, no, 2 months ago, there was a nurse. Her name is Heidi, and she actually comes in once in a while while I was in the dish room again, and I was spraying dishes, and I was by myself. Nobody else was in the kitchen, and the nurses come to our boss's door, like to her office, and go hello, if they want something.
Okay.
And I was sitting there doing, because they can't walk into the kitchen, so they just kind of stand at her door. I was sitting there doing the dishes, and I hear hello, and I went, hello? I mean, it startled me. And I stopped and looked, and I kind of looked over to the dining room, all the way to the door, out to the hospital. Nobody there. Yeah, and I told her it sounded just like her. I said that voice sounded just like you.
It wasn't me, baby.
Yeah, and that's what she said. She goes, it wasn't me. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That is crazy. What are some of the places that you investigated?
So I've investigated the Missouri State Penitentiary, the McIntyre Villa there in Atchison, Kansas, several times. Like I said, I know Stephanie pretty well. And the Sally House, of course, because that's, I lived in Atchison, and I was maybe 6 blocks from the Sally House. I've been there 8 times. So lots of stuff happens there. Let's see. I have been to the Farrar Elementary School there in Farrar, Iowa. I have been to the Villisca Axe Murder House there in Villisca, Iowa. I've been there a couple of times. Let's see. Trying to think of where else I've been. I've been in a lot of places. Yep, I lived in Florida for about a year, so I actually did.
That's where Phil's from.
Yeah, my man is. Yeah.
I lived in North Fort Myers, is where I lived, and we went down to Naples Cemetery because they said that there was some cool stuff down there at the cemetery. So I thought, why not? Let's go check it out. That was a pretty interesting place. Let's see. I had a private lady, a private home there at Daytona Beach. She wanted me at her house, so I went there. And I said, hey, how far are you from St. Augustine? I said, you about 30 minutes? And she goes, yeah. So I went to St. Augustine and checked out the lighthouse, which is what I've always wanted to do. So I would love to investigate there. Absolutely would love that.
How long did it take you to climb the lighthouse?
How long? Not too long. I would say I didn't really count. 40 minutes, maybe?
Did you stop
Maybe.
halfway?
Yeah, I had to stop. Well, I was looking at stuff, because they have stuff all up there, you can read and things like that.
Yeah, there's some plaques, but
So,
it's surprisingly steep and it's narrow. And if there's people coming down, then you need to get out of the way because there's really only room enough for yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
there were some kids that were I think they were coming back down when I was going up, and one little girl, she was like, "I had to stop. I'm tired."
when you get to
I
the
heard
top.
that. I heard that. Need to take
Um,
a break.
but I mean, especially if it's a warm day, you're going to get your cardio from climbing that.
Yeah, it's definitely a climb, yeah, but I got all the way to the top, and it
Phil,
was pretty
you've been
fun.
there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I love St. Augustine. So St. Augustine's one of my favorite places. I go there on the reg. I'm closer to it than Daytona because Daytona is about 20 miles south of me, and St. Augustine is 30 miles north of me. So I'm right in between the two. So
Are you like Palm Coast or something? Like Palm
uh,
Coast?
I'm in Flagler Beach, which is
Oh, Flagler.
each side of Palm Coast.
Yeah.
So I hop on A1A and either make a right or a left and go to either place. But yeah, it's pretty neat. What I didn't realize about both areas is that I mean, a lot of people realize that St. Augustine is the oldest European settlement in the United States, right? I
It
mean that
is.
it is. There were that's the oldest place that you're going to find traces of Europeans in the whole country. But growing up, in American schools, you really taught about like the Mayflower, Jamestown, the Plymouth Rock, that kind of thing, and then you're taught about maybe the 13 colonies. In the history of Florida is kind of amazing because of the Spanish territories, and this is the Caribbean down here,
Yep.
and
The
so
real pirate.
Wow.
yeah, so this is the Pirate Coast, and there's
Yeah.
stuff that washes up all the time on this beach out here. And on top of that, there are sugar mill ruins up and down here. Like there's one called Bulow Mill Plantation, not 5 minutes from my house here. I go to all the time, and it's the ruins of an old sugar mill plantation where they grew sugar and indigo, and it's not the only one. Tomoka State Park, there's one out there near there too. What they call the Loop, which bikers from around the country during Bike Week always love to drive this beautiful loop. It's like one of the last pristine places in Florida where you can really see what the Florida jungle looks like. And it's gorgeous. But the early 1700s, they had sugar mills out here. I mean, guys who had like land grants from Spain and England, basically came over here by boat and set up plantations and created sugar mills and everything else. There were people here. There weren't roads. The only way to get to their plantations was by boat. Everything was by boat, by the river or by the ocean. And you think of what it must have been like. You think it's hot and humid living here now, and we have air conditioning. Imagine the days of wool clothing, right? When everybody kept everything covered up, and you're trying,
Oh, yeah.
no screen doors or anything like that. No bug spray. Yeah, it's there's a lot of history here, and obviously a lot of ghosts.
Yeah.
I live on the Matanzas River. The Matanzas is Spanish for slaughter because the Spanish slaughtered 300 Frenchmen out here. So this whole river is the murder river. Flagler Beach was the Florida state had the most suicides per capita for the entire state of Florida when I moved in.
Wow.
So there's something really kind of eerie and creepy about being in the place that looks like paradise, but there's this undercurrent of something much darker. I think I sent you pictures of something, or I showed you maybe a couple months back. There's an Indian mound right down there right before you get to Daytona Beach is Ormond Beach, and I was at the guy James Ormond. His tomb is in a park that nobody knows about, but there's an Indian mound right in the middle of this neighborhood. You pass by, here's one house, Indian mound. And they did sonar over that area. There's like, traces of 10,000 body parts in
God.
that mound
Wow.
there.
Wow. It's
Right in the
crazy.
middle, it's in a neighborhood. There's no park around it. It's not like it's separated from. Kids walk over it all the time, go fishing, everything else. It's kind of wild down here. I mean, Florida is a strange place.
Yes, it is.
Well, you got the swamp people out there too.
We got plenty of them. The Florida.
What is Fort Myers like?
Fort Myers is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, I was absolutely interested in St. Augustine. That was on my bucket list for a long, long time. So I finally drove the 5 hours to go see the lighthouse and the old city there in St. Augustine, which is very cool place. And I also did an investigation at the old jail. They said the sheriff, I think, was 6'9" or something like that. I mean, very, very tall, very big man at that time.
Back then, when the average guy was like 5'3", can you imagine?
Yeah. He was a big dude.
Wow. Amanda, do you drive a lot to go to different places?
Oh, yeah. I love to travel. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love doing it.
I just got tired of it. I was driving all over the damn place. Zandine still drives all over the place. Yeah, I just got tired of it. It was like, I don't do this no more.
I'm sure I eventually will get tired of it, but
yeah.
Right now, I absolutely love it. I love going to different places. I am all about ghost towns as well. I love looking at old depots, old train depots, and see if they're still around.
Have you been to California?
I've been to California, but I was just a kid, so I haven't been out there in a while.
Oh, okay.
But I would love to. Yeah, last time I was out in California, I think I was 15, 16 years old. So it's been a while.
If you like ghost towns, you would like Bodie.
Bodie.
Yeah, Bodie. That's right up on the Nevada-California border.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely got to check that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I need to. Yeah. I like I said, I want to go out that direction, and I do want to go a little more East Coast side as well, because I want to check out around the Virginia area, because I know that there's a lot of stuff out there.
That would be Steve Ward's area.
Well, actually, West by God, Virginia.
West Virginia. Well, I definitely want to go out that direction too, because I know there's a lot of really old historical places that I would love to see before I'm tired of traveling.
Yeah. Also, too, do you want to go to like international places?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
One of the most fascinating places I've been to is the Paris catacombs.
Oh, yes. I can hear about them all the time.
Oh, yeah. That place, it just felt creepy. I wasn't an investigator yet, but I was curious about the paranormal because as a child, I actually witnessed the paranormal. So it's like it's always been in my blood. And
yes.
In the Paris catacombs, you can feel it, but I didn't have anything to record EVPs or anything like that.
Right. No recorder with you.
Oh, I got to tell you something. Okay. Amanda, in about 6 minutes, this Zoom is going to shut down.
Oh,
and
okay.
we're going to take a 10-minute break, and we're going to send you a second link to finish up the interview. Okay. All right.
Sounds
so
good.
Tell us about another investigation, because we got 6 minutes before it shuts down.
So let's see.
Tell us the smells and the feels and everything you remember. Get real down with us.
Yeah. Scare me, Amanda.
When we come back, I have a story to tell, but please go ahead with your story.
Nice. So I can tell you one of the investigations I did not too long ago. It was actually in the tunnels, here in town. And I was talking to a lady, and she was just snapping pictures, snap, 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 snap. And she left the tour, and she messaged me because she wanted my phone number, and she said, "Hey, I want you to see this," because we were always telling them that there was a little girl that roams around there. We have no idea where she comes from, but she just hangs out, which I don't know why. There's cowboys down there. Why is a little girl there? But
Right.
so yeah, she sent me a picture and she said, "Hey, I want you to see this." People send me pictures all the time, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it could be this, it could be, kind of have to weigh things out. And she caught a picture of that little girl in the back of the tunnels. And she said, "Is this something?" I said, "Oh, that absolutely is." And I said, "I guess she's not very tall." And I said, why did you leave? And she said, "I just kind of got a little freaked out." She said, "After I saw that picture," she said, "I had to go."
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy. I don't think we caught any voices or anything that night, but she definitely caught a picture of her.
Wow.
I said, "Hold on to that picture. You caught something."
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Where's that picture at now?
I actually have it. I could probably post it. I have not posted it probably in a while.
Are you able to show it on your phone?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
If
let's
I
do it. I
can,
want to see it.
let me see if I can show it. How can I do
They can always come back.
it? How can I do it?
Take a
Yeah,
little
probably
while.
when we get back. Yeah, it may take a minute to do it.
Okay,
Oh,
don't worry
the
about it.
start share. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me a minute to find it, and I will show it to you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. Do it on the break. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's interesting. Um,
Hmm.
okay, we got about 3 minutes. Steve, is your story longer than 3 minutes, you think?
Probably a little longer, yeah.
We can still hear it. We can hear it come
You
back, or you
want,
want to do
what?
it in one
But
while?
it won't be too much longer. I will not bore you to death.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
So the states that you actually investigated as Florida, Kansas. Kansas is where you're from, right? Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
Kansas. Um,
Missouri, Iowa. I did a little tiny bit in Nebraska, not very much. Um, where else did I investigate at? I'm trying to think real quick here. Um, I've done a whole bunch of stuff around Northeast Kansas since that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So like Leavenworth, I did a whole bunch of stuff in Leavenworth. We did oh God, was it VFW? I think it was that they let us come in, like the Legion, they let us come in and do some stuff, and we definitely caught some voices there. I can't describe who they are. Nobody told us names or anything. They just said, "Go, just have fun," is what they said.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
think ghosts are dead humans, or do you think it's something pretending to be human?
Hmm. I think it's dead humans. I do. I think because
Okay.
I have a lot of people who tell me, that they're, you know, something pretending to be something else. I hear that a lot. And I'm like, I think they have some unfinished business is how I feel.
Hmm.
I feel like
Amanda,
there's something
Good
there.
point.
do
Good
you
point.
do demon cases, shadow people,
Shadow
tulpas,
people.
Do you
I say
shadow?
think so?
shadow
You think
people.
they're real? Thanks for asking
Shadow
that, Paul.
people? Shadow people? Yeah. I don't know what to think of them yet. I'm
Okay.
still
I,
trying
I
to
think
see.
I think they're interdimensional myself.
I,
Um,
Possibly.
yeah.
I
You,
haven't seen because I hadn't seen a shadow person in a long time, and I think I saw my very first shadow person like 2017 or 18. Because I was telling somebody I want to see one. They're like, "No, you don't." I said,
well,
"Well,
remember
yeah,
remember
yeah." I'm like,
Rosemary Ellen Guiley? She was investigating shadow people, and she found that a large percentage of them were also alien abductees. There seemed
"Wow,
to be
Oh
some kind of
wow.
a connection there,
that
Wow.
something that
sounds
she
really
did not
good."
expect.
Hmm.
And some people compare shadow
Interesting.
people with
Hmm.
Men in Black. Some ufologists
Huh.
reading their books that they think there's a
Hmm.
connection with shadow people and the Men in Black.
That makes sense
Yes.
to me. It
What do you
does.
think, Paul? What do you think, Paul? What do you think it is, Paul?
Oh, oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking to
My
somebody else.
microphone is a little bad. Sorry about that.
No, 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 no. I mean, I think shadow people are interdimensional. I think they come from their reality to ours and back, and I think they're just here to observe because on some of the cases that I investigated, they seemed like they were walking on railroad tracks. They were moving along like that, and they
Mm.
were looking down.
Mm.
And then when they approach you and they get close, then they're looking exactly.
He'll jump in.
Amanda, you've been telling us some fascinating stories about your investigations and everything. What
Yeah.
what investigations? Oh, here we go. Can you
Yes.
ex- can you explain this photo?
This is where the lady took the picture. She was standing right here. We actually have an underground saloon is where that is, and it actually is an operating underground saloon. And that's where she was standing by that door. And she took a picture straight back. And she said, "Do you see something?" And I kind of looked back and I said, "Maybe." And she gave me a blown up picture, a closer up of one. And I said, "Oh," I said, "Good catch. Absolutely." And she said, "Do you want me to send this to you?" I said, "Yes, of course I do." This was last July when she took this picture.
Hmm, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Zandine, Phil?
Looks like some at at the very back, like a little figure, perhaps.
Yeah, way in the back.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about, Amanda?
Yeah, she's back. Yeah, do you see her? It looks
Okay,
like,
okay.
yep, it looks like she's standing like in the back there. And
Yeah.
I looked back there and there is no possible way. I mean, that's a little body because those walls. Yeah, that's a child
Hmm.
because that beam is tall. I mean, it's 6 feet, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Phil, what's your thoughts on it?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Um, can you see
I,
my mouse moving?
yeah, there's a lot of distortion.
So like, what is this part here? This
I have no clue. I have no idea.
so this whole all this blue part.
Yeah,
That's that's the apparition.
no, she's standing. You see it? There's like, yeah, right there. That's her face.
That's her face. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's her torso.
Does this look
And
like her
then
arms?
her arms, I think her arms are folded. Looks like she's got her arms folded. You see?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look like a face and like a hairline here.
Yep. But I think she caught that little girl somehow because there isn't anybody else standing back there. Not at that time.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like it could be a little girl's face and hairline for sure.
Yep, looks like she's. I thought she had like an old timey dress, some kind of dress on, some old timey dress, like
Yeah.
period clothes.
I have a full body apparition photo taken by one of my investigators and was down the hallway, and it's a figure of a man, and it's all black.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it was pretty clear. In fact, I sent it out, and Coast to Coast AM published the picture because it was so clear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah.
That is very
Coast to
great.
Coast did that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And,
Wow.
and look. like
Here,
we
is Paul
just
frozen?
completely lost Steve. It's
Uh-oh.
stopping.
He froze up.
No,
Oh,
back.
okay, okay. Well,
That's
what
the Matrix. Yeah.
This is what happens. I send you a picture and then.
oh, Amanda, what do you think about orbs?
um, I'm still I'm on the fence with those too, because you never know. It could be dust, you know. I always tell people it could be light reflection or dust. Um, sometimes you might see something going really slow that is not, in connection with all the dust, and you're like, oh, well, what was that? So I'm just kind of wishy-washy on it.
Amanda, let me tell you what you can do, okay? And this is what I do. And I've told this story, and Phil and Zandine will probably fall asleep because they've already heard the story. But I'm going to tell you the story. Okay, we did an investigation in which the ghost was named Emily, and she would drain the energy from the occupants. She would make them tired, fatigued, everything else. So one of my investigators, this guy, he goes, Paul, he goes, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I go, take a seat, take a seat. And I said, well, what's going on? He goes, I feel drained. I said, I wonder if Emily's doing that to you. And I had three investigators next to me with cameras. And I said, Emily, if you're listening to me, kiss him on the mouth. And we took a picture, and there was an orb on his mouth.
Wow.
That showed intelligent movement. And then I said, Emily, again, if you're listening to me, sit on his lap. And we take a picture, and there's an orb hovering on his lap. So what I do is, when I used to go on investigations, I would put my hand on the wall and say, if you are a real spirit, a real ghost, appear by my hand. And some of those photos, you'll see an orb on my hand.
I'm going to have to try that and see if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intelligent movement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do. So I have a friend of mine. He's from Atlanta, and he came here and did the investigations in the tunnels with us. And my boyfriend was actually sitting in the old barber's chair, which is underground. And he was sitting there, and he took a drink of, I think, your Mountain Dew or something. And we saw something shoot out from his elbow and then come back in. So there's no possible way it was a bug, no possible way, but it was pretty interesting to see. So that's why I said sometimes I'm like, I don't know, is that what that is, or is it something else? But I know it wasn't a bug because bugs aren't down there. So yeah, what was it?
Amanda, do you do UFO investigations and cryptids
I
investigations?
I do not, no, but I should.
Yeah.
Because I was telling I can't remember who it was. I was telling somebody that was asking me about cryptids and stuff like that, and I said we were out in the country. A friend of mine and I were, and she had to go to a house that she was taking care of, and she had stopped in the middle of the road, and I looked over to the right and I saw all these glowing eyes and probably 6, 7 pairs just staring at us. And they were tall. And I said, is that cows? And she said, there are no cows in that field. I said, then what is it that's staring at us? I said, what is this? And she said, you want me to get out and look? I said, go ahead. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And as soon as she stepped out of the car, they started coming towards us. And she jumped in the car and took off as fast as she could. And I said, "What?" I said, "What was it?" She said, "I have no idea." She says, "We're not going to even discuss it."
And were the
So
eyes? And you said the eyes were red.
they were glowing. They were like
Glowing red.
Get out of there.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people who cite Bigfoot say that they see glowing red eyes.
Oh man.
And usually at the height of 7 feet And it sounds like you guys encountered Bigfoot.
I don't know what it was because, like I said, it was tall and it was 7 pairs of eyes. So, because I was like, how many's here? And yeah, I said, there's no way those are cows. They were too tall. No way.
Wow. Wow. Phil, Steve's back. He said he's back. Oh, there he is. Well, Amanda, that sounds like you. Oh, there's Steve. Yeah, it sounds like you encountered something. Steve, you got a story for us.
I do. I don't know what the hell happened with my computer, but I shut her down and brought it back up. Anyway, so this is over 10 years ago. A group of us went down to where the Silver Bridge that collapsed in 1967. We were on the Point Pleasant side on the shoreline there. And two of the people we were with were really excellent at catching EVPs. Not me so much. And so we now we were there was a photograph that a ghost hunting group took that looked very similar to one of the people that perished on the bridge. Just kind of an outline. So anyway, we were very respectful, and unbeknownst to us, Emily had set up a flashlight, like they do on television, just on the edge. So all of a sudden, the flashlight comes on by itself and then goes off. And so we started, stamping around it to see if the vibration did anything. And so, I thought, well, heck, I've seen enough of these shows. I know what to do. So I said, if there's anyone here, would you please turn the flashlight on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3, bang, flashlight comes on for 3 beats and then goes off. And I said, can I say holy expletive now? Yeah, I didn't say expletive. And then a little bit later, I thought I'd go for broke. And I thought, well, let's try this again. And I said the same thing. Would you please turn the flashlight on the count of 3? And there were 3 beats, nothing. Flashlight comes on for 3 beats and then goes off. Well, later on, John went through the audio tapes, and this was not a Class A EVP, but he thinks he heard a voice say, when I said, can I say holy expletive now? He thinks he heard a voice say, little baby. So they were chastising me for being a little baby about this. But that's as close as I've come to a possible EVP.
Wow.
Little
Wow.
baby.
Little baby, huh?
Oh heck, I was pretty shocked when the thing came on. So I guess I was a little baby.
I think the best EVP I ever got was in Truckee at the Truckee Hotel, and there was we had a huge group that we took around Truckee, showing them all the haunted places and everything else. And we this one guy who was like a cowboy. He looked at me. He goes, I came along on this little journey with you, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't believe in ghosts, but I just want to watch you guys do your little investigations. I find it comical, blah, blah, blah. I go, okay, well, that's fine. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm not going to get along with this guy. He's starting to piss me off. But anyway,
I've had that before.
Yeah. So we went by his room, and he goes, yeah, this is my room, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he spent money to stay in the most haunted room in this hotel. And so I said, well, let's do an EVP session, right? So I had all these people watching. I said, please stay quiet. Don't say anything. And so I did about, oh God, maybe 5 times. I said, is there anyone here? Please say something. Talk to me. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Then finally, and it blew me away because the sentence was so long, says, yeah, I'm right here, and he better get the fuck out. And I'm going, holy shit. And the cowboy's eyes got huge. I mean, or like sausage.
Dang.
Couldn't believe it. So around about 3 o'clock in the morning, I get up and you got to use the restroom down in the hallway, and I keep on hearing this person pacing back and forth. So I open the door and I see it's the cowboy guy. I go, hey man. I said, what are you doing? I said, well, you've been walking up and down the hallway. He goes, I can't go in that fucking room. He goes, it's fucking haunted. I go, oh, you believe in ghosts now?
Oh my God.
I've had the same situation at the hotel I worked at. Same situation. Had a lady, I was talking to her. She said, what's the most haunted room up here? And I said, well, not much happens up here. I said, but I can't tell you the room we're standing right in front of. I said, yeah, there's stuff that happens in this room. And she said, there is? I said, yeah. I said, if you stand here long enough, I said, the whole room will kind of flip on you. I said, you'll feel something different in this room. And she said, she's like, oh, well, I don't believe in that stuff anyway. She said, I was just wondering. I said, okay. And we were just standing there talking, and all of a sudden it was like a gust, just. And she said, what was that? And I said, I thought you didn't believe in stuff. Uh-huh. I, I said, I told you, if you stand here long enough, something's going to happen to you. I said, yep. And she says, I've never felt that before in my life. I said, yep. And I said, do you want to stay in this room? She goes, no. She goes, I think I will book another room. Yeah.
So book
It
another
was,
room. I'll have to
yeah.
ask next.
Another quick story about Rosemary Ellen Guiley. It was a great lady. She had a huge body of work. Well, she was in Waverly Hills Sanatorium one time. I forget
On my
who she
bucket
was
list.
with. I've been there, and they when you go there, you don't use flashlights. You just let your eyes adjust to the light. And she's standing there, and the guy says to her, Rosemary, uh, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And what they were seeing was something that looked like an alien gray, a gray alien in Waverly Hills Sanatorium, which we have well, John Keel talked about how all these things were connected. Well, I guess that wouldn't be too big a surprise, but holy cow, a gray alien in
Yeah.
Waverly Hills Sanatorium? What the heck is he doing there?
Right.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, did it come through a portal or, you know?
They just saw it in the shadows,
Mhm.
and that was it.
Little peekaboo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can come like at any time. One time I was with my brother, and I said, "Give me your phone for a second." He was like, "Well, just give me your phone." And I thought I saw something, but when I took the picture, it really was like a bouquet of balloons, like Party City. That was one thing, but it stayed in one place. I mean, just like they don't do, and it was up. It was like high. It was pretty high, but that wasn't the thing. When I look back at the picture, not in the balloons, like balloons, they have a design or whatever. These were solid color, and then they had like a 1 and an 8, like the shape of a 1 and an 8. But it had a face of a gray, like transposed over it, like from the sky, not from any printing, because it didn't fit necessarily neatly over there, but it had a jawline, the little slit for the mouth, the little nose, and the big eyes. The head was like almost triangle like, and if I wish I had the photo, but anybody that's sees it, you don't have to say anything. It's not one of those things like a cloud. You're like, hey, do you think you see a UFO? Do you think you see an angel? Nah, none of that. It's you're like, okay, but it's just like, how did it get there? Because I was just by some towers, like near a reservoir. It wasn't any. It's like not by anything. I don't know if it's projected there or not, but it was like a wide open space, almost like a reservoir. So, but you just never know. What you'll get. Like, and I tell people that about like places like Mount Shasta and Joshua Tree, places like that. You can go look for UFOs or look for what you want, but like where you really get it is when you just take random photos of other stuff. Stuff seems to pop up more than if you sit there and say, "Hey, I want to see this, I want to see that." So anyway, that's my.
And Zending, you're correct about that because, like, when we do investigations, just take your camera and just do random photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I do. And sometimes you get something weird.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
We did it. We did it at MSP when we were there last. When we were there, about a month ago, and I thought I had saw something. And they were talking about Big Boy, whoever that is,
Yeah.
and I kind of like looked over my boyfriend's shoulder, and he looked at me. He said, "What?" And I said, "I don't know. Something's going on over here." And he just snapped a picture, which I'll have to find it for you guys, but it looks like somebody going like holding their arm
Wow.
up like this. Yeah.
Big
It's
boy.
crazy.
That's a
That looks
big.
like
Yeah.
that looks like Trump.
So back to the Paracon. Hey, and we don't go there. Hey, hey, back to your Paracons. Do you like anything like haunted stories from the guests, fan encounters, or objects moving, or anybody panicking or fainting, or any attachments, people bringing stuff home? Any of that happen like at your shows or your Paracons?
Nobody's ever said anything to me before. Well, I guess we'll find
Any
out with this upcoming one.
at this Yeah, they might share stories. Has anybody pulled you to the side and said, "Hey, I don't want to share this story. This is too much. I will tell you this, but I won't tell you the rest of it," or anything like that?
I've had a lady tell me, hey, I want to share this with you, but she says I'm kind of, yeah, she was kind of standoffish about it.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
She wanted to share a little piece of it, and I said, well, is there more to more to what you're saying? And she was like,
Hmm.
she goes, I really don't want to go in it. And I was like, okay, so she might have been scared. I don't know. I don't know if she was upset or I have no clue. Yeah. Nobody's ever told me anything, has
Yeah.
followed them, attached to them, nothing like that.
Amanda, are you involved with the Paracons in Kentucky?
I am not. I would like to be. I
Oh,
would
okay,
love to
okay.
be.
Because I saw on your timeline you had some advertisements for Kentucky.
Yeah, I like to help share other people's things.
Uh-huh.
I'm all about the networking. So if somebody's putting on another event, I like to share it for them as well because they're helping me too. So I'm like, you help me, I'll help you kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. And then, yeah, because on one of them, there was a Kentucky Paracon, and Tim Shorts, who comes on this show a lot,
Mhm.
he's part of that Paracon. He's one of the guest speakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very cool. Very, very cool.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I would love to make my way, over there, someday and check it out. Absolutely. Yeah.
How many people go to your Paracons?
My first one, we only had about 70 people, which it was only one day. So that's pretty
Okay.
good. Yeah, I thought that was amazing. This next one I'm doing, I actually am doing all weekend. So it is Friday through Sunday. And my expectations are between 100 to 150 is what my expectations are. So
Okay.
I'm
Oh wow.
hoping, yeah, because it's all weekend. So,
Hmm.
uh,
When I was doing Paracons, yeah, my average was about 75 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most things I'm seeing, is maybe 1 day, 2 days, and I thought, well, this is a 3-day one, so I hope, we get more people. And then Kansas City Paracon, both of the Kansas City Paracons canceled. So I'm hoping we get some of that crowd, to us, is what I'm hoping.
How come they come?
If you want to see a crowd, come to the Mothman Festival
Yeah, I need to.
every third weekend in September.
I need to do that. That's awesome. But that's my weekend. That's what I'm going to be. I was so busy that weekend. Oh man. September 25th through 27th is when I'm putting the Paracon on.
Is your husband involved in paranormal investigating and stuff like that?
Absolutely is. He absolutely is.
Okay. Is he next to you?
He's over here on the couch.
Tell him we want to say hi.
They want to say hi to you.
Tell him his brother want to say hi to him.
Oh, there he is. All right. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
What's going on, man?
Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing fine.
How you doing?
Good.
How long have you both? How long have you both been paranormal investigating?
I've been doing about 20 plus years. I've been doing it for a while. Yeah.
I've been doing it since I met her 3 years ago.
Okay.
Good man.
And you like it? You like it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah? Have you had your own paranormal experience before you became a paranormal investigator?
I have. They seem to reach out to me in my dreams.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've had.
Do you mind?
I've had like 3 or 4 dreams with them.
Do you mind telling us about that real quick?
Sure. The first one was in my old. Well, I had 2 in my old house in Colorado. The first time was I was in the house and I had some French doors that went down the stairs, and when I opened the doors, there's a black misty cloud there with 2 eyes, and what I feel is he's throwing me back onto the kitchen or the dining room table, so I'm on my back in a fetal position, and I just look over to my right and I see my wife at the time sitting on the couch just watching TV, and I flicked the remote at her, and that was it.
Wow.
And the second time, I woke up and we were in our bedroom and the door was shaking. So I'm holding onto the doorknob. I could feel it. And then all of a sudden it stops and you can hear running away and laughing.
Wow. That is crazy.
Now, that's scary right there.
Yeah. And I hear about that where people say that these spirits come to them in their dreams and stuff. So yeah, that's bizarre.
And the last one I had here, they got me up and I backed up to the wall and the whole atmosphere, I guess, was distorted. And I said, "You need to leave us alone so I can sleep." And then it was quiet. Haven't had anything since.
That wasn't too long ago.
A year and a half or so.
Yeah.
Amanda, you don't have any spirits coming to you through dreams or anything like that?
Nope.
Me neither.
I don't ever feel that. But I do have people ask me if I've ever had anything follow me home. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I tell people, stuff follows me all the time. So I'm always like, and I always say, cannot follow me home. You're not allowed to follow me. I always say it, but of course they're not going to listen to that.
I've had clients tell me that spirits have communicated with them through dreams. So it's very interesting that your husband experienced the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I had one client.
We've done a lot together.
I had one client who said that in a dream, that she kept on seeing this guy with blonde hair, and he was trying to communicate something to her. And then later on, she went to the doctor because she was feeling some pain on her breast, and it was a blonde hair guy. It was the blonde hair guy from her dream who happens to be a doctor that told her that
Oh,
she had
wow.
breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Wow, that's
crazy.
yeah. She said
yeah,
the
Paul.
exact. It was that doctor with the blonde hair was in her dream.
Paul, since you said that,
Wow.
I was going to ask a question that everybody can probably answer is why do you think so much trauma and ghosts are attached to each other? What do you think that's about? You know, the trauma and ghost thing. What is that about, you think?
Who wants to answer that first?
Mhm.
Unresolved issues.
That's what I was gonna say.
What's that?
Stuff that just isn't resolved anymore, like unresolved issues.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, ghosts that stick around.
Hmm.
This is one case that blew me away too. Okay, so we did an investigation, and it was this old lady that was haunting the house. So the occupant didn't know why this old lady was haunting the house, and come to find out, there was a death at that house. It was an old lady. And so I kept on saying on the digital recorder, why haven't you gone to the light? You know? And finally, she says, I don't want to be judged.
Mm.
hmm.
And what I believe is that this old lady was a Christian woman, and she did some sinful things, and she's scared to go into the light because she feels that she might be sent down.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
she
interesting.
doesn't want to be judged. And then other spirits, they have unfinished business, like their daughter is going to have a baby, so they want to stick
Yeah.
around and be an angel to that
Ah,
little
okay. I
girl.
see what you're saying. Good
Yeah.
point.
Yep. And I feel that way too. I feel like there's something that's not finished. They're still lingering around, maybe they're waiting for something. And I've said, we did it all the time. Why don't you why don't you leave? You leave anything you want to. And I have had voices that say I can't. I've had voices that I've had. My mom, she has. Why don't you go? You can go anytime. And she said that she voice says, I've been there and I'm back home. She's heard that,
Wow.
which, yeah, that blows me away.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that she heard that.
When I kick the bucket, um, I'm not going to go into the light because I might be going.
She's doing that way.
I mean,
It's probably more fun there.
yeah, I see the light. Oh hell no!
No,
No,
and
no, no.
I actually had a tattoo man who actually had a heart attack, and he was legally gone for, they said, about almost an hour that he was legally dead. And they got him back, and he actually was back alive, tattooing. I mean, straight lines, I mean, like nothing happened to him.
Mm.
And when I found out that he was fine, my husband and I at the time, we went and checked on him to see how he was doing. And I looked over at my husband. I said, I've got to ask him. I have to ask him. I said, did you see anything? And he said, I did. And I said, oh my gosh. I said, what did you see? And he said, well, he said, I saw my father, and he said, I saw my sister, and he said they were both motioning like this to come with them. And he said, I didn't want any part of that. He goes, I've lived with those people. He goes, I don't want no part of that anymore.
Oh my god!
He said, no, 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 no.
He said that.
Hey
He said
everybody, I got to tell you, we got about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
So I want to ask Amanda and her husband, how can people reach you?
They can actually contact me. I have an email, owlriverparanormal at gmail.com. I do have that. They can reach me through email. They can also reach me on my Central Kansas Paracon page on Facebook. I'm on there, so they can do that. I also have my Owl River Facebook page as well, and they can message me on there too. I actually have 2 business pages that they can go through. So yeah.
Okay.
Sweet Pea
All right.
2022 on TikTok.
Yep, Sweet Pea 2022 on TikTok. Yep.
And is Ghost Wankers our podcast? Are we welcome to your Paracon?
Absolutely are. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't that be a surprise if we all show up
Right.
and hey, here we are?
You never know.
You
Absolutely.
know?
Hey, I'm looking for an MC. I am looking for an MC.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I want,
Okay.
yep, I want somebody to do like the introductions, the in-betweens. Yeah.
Well,
It's like 50, it's like
Zandine-
50 minutes.
Zandine's a dancer. Did you ever watch
Oh.
Did you ever watch a WKRP Cincinnati?
I love WKRP in Cincinnati. Yes.
Zandine was on there.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. They had me play a kid from the Cincinnati projects that like they brought me as an intern, and they wanted to show me the difference between DJing like street rap versus DJing on the radio, and I ended up stealing something, and so they were gonna press charges, but they didn't. They like basically like taught me. It was like you learned a lesson, and I came with 2 other people. That's how the script went, you know. And so yeah, so then they had me as an intern after that. But it was the new WKRP with Michael T, the guy from from Forrest Gump. And
Oh
then
yeah.
had,
Okay.
Lonnie Anderson. Everybody was still there, but they were like more secondary. Was the reboot, new WKRP in Cincinnati. So yeah,
Wow, that's awesome.
it was like a blast. It's so long ago, but if you ever see it, don't laugh at my hairdo. Everybody goes, man, like what's wrong? Like you got like, because they have a wardrobe. They give you like, you know, whatever they think is urban or whatever, you know. So it's like, but yeah, it's one episode you can go to is episode 14, Hip Hop KRP on the new WKRP.
I'll have to look that up. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I used to sing the song every time it would come on when I was a little kid. I would sing it all the time. And I had a babysitter, and I was just singing the song, and she's like, "You're a really good singer."
Oh, okay, all right, wow.
I was like, "No, I'm not."
Who Les Nessman, Herb Talley, Gordon Joe, who
And a busted van, Ghost Wankers.